Welcome back to MTG Burgeoning, your channel for all things magic. It is Sunday Fun Day here at MTG Burgeoning, and in today's video, we are going to include another 15 cards into our Changeling pool as we continue to fill out Morophon the Boundless and our EDH Shapeshifter with Changeling Tribal deck. What's up, MTG BC? That is the MTG Burgeoning community. Here we are with another Sunday is Fun Day video as we continue to fill the Changeling pool for Morophon the Boundless. If you missed any of the previous installments in this current deck building series, you can click the links in the description below. Additionally, to see the up to the second deck list, you may also check out the tappedout.net page, also included in the description below. In today's video, we are going to fill the pool with 15 more possibilities that we can use for our Morophon Shapeshifter with Changeling deck. The last time that we met, we completed the deck list up to a point. We had our Morophon, and we had 84 cards in the 99. That meant we had 15 cards that we needed to fill, and we decided to throw the MTG Burgeoning community a little bit of a twist. We are going to, when the series is finally over, show off a pool of 60 possible additions that could be added into each of those 15 slots. The goal of this deck is to shuffle up those 60 and draw 15 of them randomly for the last 15 of the 99 so that we can always have a very unique deck whenever we sit down at the EDH table. Very briefly, here were the first 15 cards added to this Changeling pool. Didgeridoo, Skemfar Avenger, Full Moon's Rise, Scarblade Elite, Kithkin Mourncaller, Risen Reef, Death Baron, Ferris Band Warchief, Daru Warchief, Sachi, Daughter of Sashiro, Kazul Warlord, Regisaur Alpha, Biogenic Ooze, Godo Bandit Warlord, Sashiro the Anointed. These were the first 15, and for the purposes of clarity, each one of these 60 different cards are serviced by one specific tribe. So what we're doing is minimally there's going to be 60 different tribes represented amongst these 60 different cards. And in some cases, there are more than one tribe represented by each card. All right, with everything reviewed, let's get to the next 15. We got 3 face-down piles, and we've got a D3. Let's see which the next pile is. 1, 2, 3, and the pile will be, if you can't see it, it's 3. The next pile is going to be 3. So we're going to go right here. We're going to grab this pile, we're going to flip it, and we are going to reveal our first card of the second pool of Changeling options. It is Pack Leader. 1 and a white for a 2/2 dog. It gives other dogs we control +1/+1. Whenever Pack Leader attacks, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn to dogs we control. Again, as a reminder, all of our shapeshifters have Changeling. That means that they are every creature type. So each card that gets pulled from this Changeling pool is going to affect all of our Changelings. So all of the creatures that are in this deck, if they're Changelings, Pack Leader's going to affect them. That's our first one. Pack Leader is in. Next up, we have Ayula, Queen Among Bears. 1 and a green for a 2/2 bear. Whenever another bear enters the battlefield under our control, we choose 1. We put 2 +1/+1 counters on any target bear, or target bear we control fights target creature we don't control. So we've got dogs and we've got bears. All right, next up we have Bishop of Wings. Double white for a 1/4 human cleric. Whenever an angel enters the battlefield under our control, we gain 4 life. Whenever an angel we control dies, we create a 1/1 white spirit creature token, and you better believe that's going to have fly, because we are not down with the spirit tokens that do not fly. So this is going to be our angel representative in our Changeling pool. Next card up is the Drog Skull Captain. 1 white and a blue for a 2/2 spirit soldier. It has flying, and it gives other spirit creatures we control +1/+1 and hexproof. So this bad boy is going to come down into play, give all of our changelings +1/+1, and give them hexproof. Drog Skull Captain, you are going to be one of the best lords we include in this deck. Next up, we have Yuriko, the Tiger Shadow. 1 blue and a black for a 1/3 human ninja. Whenever a ninja we control deals combat damage to a player, we reveal the top card of our library and put it into our hand. Each opponent loses life equal to that card's converted mana cost. That ability by itself is fantastic because it affects every opponent at the board. I'm sorry, every opponent at the table, and it's whenever a ninja. So if we send in, I don't know, 2, 3, 7 different quote-unquote ninjas that are shapeshifters with Changeling, we're going to get a lot of cards into our hand and make our opponents lose a lot of life. However, let's not neglect the first wall of text right under the human ninja creature type. It says Commander Ninjutsu, blue and a black. We can tap a blue and a black, and we can return an unblocked attacker we control to our hand, and we can put this card onto the battlefield from our hand or the command zone. It won't be the command zone, it will be our hand, tapped and attacking. So we can send in, for example, let's say it's like turn 3, turn 4, we send 2 innocent shapeshifters into combat. They're pathetic looking at 1/2, 1/3, 2/2. Our opponents don't block. We all of a sudden ninjutsu Yuriko into play, and suddenly we're attacking for 3 different creatures. We're drawing 3 cards, and hopefully our opponents are going to be losing a lot of life. Yuriko, you are number 1, baby. All right, number 6, we have the Captivating Vampire. 1 in double black for a 2/2 vampire, saying other vampire creatures we control get +1/+1. We can tap 5 untapped vampires we control and gain control of target creature. It becomes a vampire in addition to its other types. So we have a lord here that can buff up our creatures. Again, shapeshifters with Changeling. And we also have a way in which to tap 5 of our vampires and just gain control of any creature on the board. Make it a vampire, and then it becomes one of us, one of us, one of us. So we have another great lord here. All right, moving right along. Next card up is the Goblin Chieftain. This must be the Lord pack right here. We got a Goblin Chieftain, 1 in double red for a 2/2 haster. Other goblin creatures we control get +1/+1 and have haste. Not much to talk about this. It's a lord. It gives our dudes haste. It's a goblin. It's a goblin representative. Next up, we have Ora, the Skyclave Hierophant. We have a core cleric, which is 2 white and a black for a 3/3 lifelinker. And when Ora Skyclave Hierophant or another cleric we control dies, return target cleric card with lesser converted mana costs from the graveyard to the battlefield. So clearly this is our cleric representative in our Changeling pool. This will help us to get creatures out of our graveyard back onto the battlefield, and it just diversifies what this pool of Changeling resources is going to do. Ora, you are our cleric representative. Next up, we have Sea Hunter, 2 and 2 blue for a 2/2 mercenary. However, this will we tap 3, and then we tap Sea Hunter, and we search our library for a merfolk card and put that card into play. So we can just tutor up any quote-unquote merfolk from our library right onto the battlefield. Again, all of our creatures will have Changeling, so this should read tap 3, search your library for a creature card, and put it into play. This is our merfolk representative. Particularly if we also have a Maskwood Nexus in play, then that really truly will read any creature card and put it into play. Sea Hunter, you are down with the folk, baby. All right, next up, we have a very recent entrant into this Changeling pool, based on when it came out back in Kaldheim, which, let's be honest, it wasn't that far long ago. We have Calamity Bearer, 2 and 2 red. It's a 3/4 giant berserker. If a giant source we control would deal damage to a permanent or player, it deals double that damage to that permanent or player instead. So this is kind of a limited, a slightly restrictive version of a Furnace of Wrath, but it's personalized just to our giant sources, which, again, not to sound like the redundant Department of Redundancy, it's going to be pretty much every Shapeshifter with Changeling in our deck. Calamity Bearer, you are our giant representative. Next up, as the pool of this 15 dwindles further, we have Timber Protector, 4 and a green for a 4/6 Tree Folk Warrior. Other Tree Folk creatures we control get +1/+1. Other Tree Folk and forests we control are indestructible. Now, well, the forest part of being indestructible will not really help us out a great deal. I mean, we have some forest land cards in the deck. More importantly, however, is that tree folk will be indestructible, which, again, that means our shapeshifters with Changeling. Timber Protector, you will protect your fellow changelings. Next card up, we have the Docent of Perfection, 3 and double blue for a 5/4 flyer. And whenever we cast an instant or sorcery spell, we create a 1/1 blue human wizard creature token and put it onto the battlefield. Then, if we control 3 or more wizards, we transform the Docent of Protection into Final Iteration, which is a 6/5 flyer and gives wizards we control +2/+1 in flying. And whenever we cast an instant or sorcery spell, we again put a 1/1 blue human wizard creature token onto the battlefield. So in a lot of ways, we can look at Docent of Perfection, particularly when it transforms into Final Iteration. We can look at that as one of our win conditions, +2/+1 in flying for our entire board. That is going to be a very strong card. Docent of Perfection, you are our wizard representative. Next up, we have Mirrodin, 3 and double black for a 2/3 legendary rat rogue. This will give all rats fear, and we can tap and sacrifice a rat and then put X 1/1 black rat creature tokens into play, where X is the number of rats we control. So this helps us on the offensive, this helps us on the defensive. Giving all of our changelings fear means that they cannot be blocked except for black or artifact creatures. Plus, we have the ability to turn Mirrodin sideways, sacrificing one of our quote-unquote rats, and then create those many black rat creature tokens where X is the number of rats we control. So an unchecked Mirrodin will allow us to create such an overwhelming board of shapeshifters with Changeling that we shouldn't have much trouble closing out the game. Mirrodin is our rat representative. Next up, and we're almost done with this particular episode, we have Tulsamer, Friend to Wolves. 2 green and a white for a 3/3 elf scout. When Tulsamer enters the battlefield, we create Voja, Friend to Elves, which is a legendary 3/3 green and white wolf creature token. Whenever a wolf enters the battlefield under our control, we gain 3 life, and that creature fights up to 1 target creature we don't control. So Tulsamer is going to be our wolf representative. It helps us with some, helps us by creating a wolf, and more importantly, it helps and allows us to ping other dorks at the table with its fight ability. Tulsamer, you are our wolf representative. And card number 15, and the last entrant in this particular installment, is the Utvara Hellkite. 6 and double red for a 6/6 flying dragon. Whenever a dragon we control attacks, we create a 6/6 red dragon creature token with flying. So we can send one of our bear shapeshifters, 1 in a green for a 2/2, 1 in a white for a 3/1, something like that. Send one of our bears into combat, even if it ends up dying. As long as it's attacking and the Utvara Hellkite is in play, we are going to create a 6/6 red dragon creature token with flying. The Utvara Hellkite is our dragon representative for this deck. And that, folks, that is going to close out pool. I guess we'll call this puddle because the 4 puddles are going to go into the one big pool. This is number 2. We have 2 piles left. Stay tuned as we unveil the final 30 cards that are going to go into Morophon's Changeling pool. This is MTG Burgeoning, your channel for all things Magic.